yeah, I hope you like it. And if you don't like it, I hope it at least pushes you to ask some big questions about the world. And yeah. Is that good? That's good. Do you want me to read something?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm going to read from chapter 1, which is fitting, I think, because chapter 1 deals with one of the main characters. She is an artist, so it feels right to be talking about her story in an art gallery. I'm such a believer in like crossing disciplines, that artists are painters and poets and sculptors and singers and writers. They're all of the things. Why are we in silos? Like, let's bring it all together. So we are here in an art gallery celebrating literature today. And I think that's beautiful. Pardon me. Okay, everyone knows what this book is about, right? Yeah, to put it in like, maybe I could go on forever. So there's this guy, and he prophesies the end of the world. He knows the end of the world is coming. It's gonna happen on Labor Day. So he's gonna build a dome in which he's going to save 200 people. So much of the book is discovering who those 200 people are. And as we move into this series, into book 2 and 3, we're gonna find out what happens to them. But yeah, Aya is one of those people. Is she? Like, am I gonna spend a lot of time on her and not put her in the dome? I'm not gonna tell you. Okay. I don't know how to do this. I need to resituate myself. Chapter 1. One day before Labor Day, Leslieville. The first time I felt the baby kick, my body became sick with terror. What selfish monster would bring new life into a world that was so ugly? And yet, in a dreamy, distant way, I knew he was going to save me. He would show me what it meant to love, and to be loved purely, finally. Right away, I knew he was going to be strong, though at that point, I sensed him as little more than the flutter of a moth's wings. So soft I wouldn't have noticed had I been doing anything other than sitting with my feet up, eating ice cream straight from the carton, and watching some mindless trash television that made me feel smarter than everyone else. Now he was in constant motion, my body no longer my own. I could watch myself morph against his little feet and elbows. And even though it was uncomfortable, I loved him more than anything else in the world. It wouldn't be long before I could finally meet him. I went to the sonogram appointment alone, obviously. Why should I take time off work for your body issues, Aya? My husband had said. I cried in the Uber on the way, and then I cried on the table when the technician asked if I'd like to know. A son? How could I make sure he was nothing like his father? I didn't tell Ryan the results. I let him think I didn't know because he didn't deserve to know. Not yet. I prayed that, upon the birth, he would find himself softened, on board with my vision to raise a feminist who never raised a hand or a voice against women. I began writing fabulous, imaginary stories of ways Ryan could be disappeared from my life. Had he any insight into my inner dialogue, he would have been furious. I knew our mortgage insurance would pay off the loft, and his pension would support my art moving forward. His life insurance was minimal, at least what I might get in the event of his death. I once saw the papers and noticed the amount on my head was significantly more than the amount on his. When I questioned him, he said it was his reward for putting up with me so long. But I knew it was because my vocation afforded him a life he couldn't give up. Artists usually don't make any money until they're dead, he once joked to a table of friends. In the heady days before we were married. I never forgot that. My fantasy life was a full-colored rendering of a stylish single mother who got to keep the house. Some days I imagined him hit by a bus. Others, shot in a convenience store hold-up. He always died instantly because Even though he made me suffer every day in big and small ways, I couldn't imagine doing the same to him. We were different, he and I, both strong, but in contrary ways. And I hadn't figured out how to properly tap into my own strength. Not yet. But I felt it boiling within me. "You gonna accomplish anything before I get back here?" Brian asked before leaving for work that morning, annoyed at my lethargy. "Besides getting fat?" I asked, joking, but also hoping he might offer some reassurance. "You're just as beautiful as the day I met you, babe." Or, "Don't be silly, you're a vision. Can I get you anything?" "Dinner," he prodded. "A little laundry?" There was a sharpness to his voice, a dark undertone that made me want to push myself into the couch cushions like they might protect me from the hymn that sometimes came out. To be fair, he hadn't hit me since the test came back positive, but I could tell he wanted to. His hands were fists as he looked at me coldly, his knuckles white. Sometimes it still hurt if I breathed too deeply. He didn't smile and he didn't say goodbye as he grabbed his keys from the bowl by the door and slammed his way out to the Jeep. He didn't even tell me why he had to go into the office on a Sunday, though it wasn't out of the ordinary for him to have a last-minute meeting with the department head or a strategy session with his TA. I was always happy to see him go, even though I knew what strategy session meant. If I knew that was the last time I would see him, would I let out a different kind of sigh of relief? Would I have stopped him? To admit that I would just let him leave meant that I wasn't the gentle heart I projected on the world. To deny it meant that I was a liar. When I imagined his death, I always tried to imagine myself missing him, like a shadow of our early passion lent itself to a period of grief. I could never get there. It's not normal to miss what you didn't actually love. The closest I could come to grief was guilt, and that didn't seem like a good investment of my feelings. My mother told me it would get better. She said every relationship goes through rough patches. I asked her whether my father had ever made her feel so small she forgot who she was. She told me I was being melodramatic. "You made a choice, love. You said a vow. We stand by our word. What are we without them? And what would the neighbors think?" Her words cut me deeper than any mark Ryan ever left on me. Don't be a baby, love. Grown-ups have to make grown-up choices, and they're not always fun. Fun exists for children. I thought maybe she was a liar. I also wondered if I needed to start trusting my father less. "Are you happy, Mom?" "Well, I have you, don't I?" I tucked myself deeper into the couch and clicked the mute button on the remote, letting the subtitles flash across the screen, reveling in the soft silence that suddenly wrapped itself around the loft as it always did the moment after Ryan left. I heard the steady thrum of street noise beyond the thick windows, a welcome constant that prevented me from feeling fully isolated. My name wasn't on the mortgage. Brian said my career was volatile, it could disappear at any moment. He was 1 year away from getting tenure at the time, and though it was my art that provided the down payment, my name was not on the paperwork. I knew he took immeasurable pride in the fact that we lived within a retired printing factory in this newly gentrified section of Old Toronto. When I suggested we look for a home in the suburbs to me and my sister, he had scorned me for always wanting to be ordinary. He grew a pretentious mustache after we moved in, and though I wanted to hate it, I loathed how well it fit his face. We matched this loft, he and I, an artist and a professor, and I had to admit I loved the wide open space that lent itself well to creativity. And though my art hung on the walls in the hallway, the loft never felt like mine. My large piece, a lovely blend of grays and pinks called Haunting Summer, would have fit beautifully over the fireplace. But the great room was where he showcased his collection of real art, postmodern and aggressive. He called it brave. My work was more romantic. He called it boring. This home, with its stark white walls, expensive furniture and Chanel blankets, it embodied peace in every dust-free corner. The war only entered on the back of the master, the "who do you think pays the bills around here?" even though we both knew it was me. I knew, hoped. It was only a matter of time before I found the courage to leave him. I just needed the cash in my secret bank account to grow to a sufficient enough point that I could fund my escape. Before we filed for our wedding license, he had joked about getting a prenup, but never followed through. Had I known then what I know now, I would have encouraged it in order to protect what I had. To leave him meant to also sacrifice my career. Yes, I would be able to rebuild. My work had enough of a modest demand that commissions would help me carry on, but not without the cost of his share, for which he would surely fight. The truth was, I brought in more money with gallery shows and corporate collections than he brought in as an arts professor, but he refused to acknowledge it. I spent all day in stained overalls with a top knot, while he wore expensive jackets from Harry Rosenau-Bloor and Tom Ford glasses with fake lenses that made him look professional and aloof, but also sexy. Even after all this time, I could see the man who wooed me, and though I didn't find him attractive in the same way I did as an undergrad, I understood why people were drawn to him. Charisma and confidence make a heady brew. But they didn't get to see the monster beneath the tweed. That was my burden to bear. He mocked me and my work, but I suspected it was bred of jealousy. I once told him that those who can't make art teach it, a sentiment I never again repeated. My prints have been making steady sales for over a year since gallery owner and friend helped me build out a website and target SEO so perfectly that my business account rested just below $80,000. After I registered as a sole proprietorship and was careful to only touch the account for art expenses, I was able to file my business taxes and maintain my position as Ryan's dependent, having zero personal drawings, and he was none the wiser. Of course, this meant keeping 2 sets of books, one for Aya the print seller, and one for Aya the artist, who sold originals to collectors. But it turned out to be easier than I expected, and it was perfectly legal. I had the number of $150K in my head. That was the goal. That was when I would leave him. That would pay some legal fees, the income tax I would have to pay by pulling money out, and get me set up in a little apartment with room for a baby and an easel. I was going to paint my own life. I was going to be happy. If you've read any of my earlier books, you know that I like to play in dark spaces and have characters dealing with heavy things. So here we have a character dealing with some domestic abuse. And a question I always get is, am I writing from my own experience? I want to be very clear that I am nothing like Aya. And my husband over here treats me with nothing but kindness and respect, and is my biggest supporter, and really is the reason that I'm able to do anything that I'm doing. So when you read this, he's not in here, okay? So that's just a little taste, and I realized that wasn't like the apocalyptic blow up that maybe you wanted here today, but I think it's really powerful to build out these characters that maybe as a reader you could fall in love with and really care about, and then throw them in a worse situation and see what they do. That's part of the fun of writing. My throat's very dry. There is a band in this book. The band is called Pocket Rochelle. You can see a little poster over here. And because I'm crazy and a little too ambitious, I decided, well, this band should be real. And I wrote 3 songs for the band. In the winter, we went into the studio and recorded those songs. And you can now find them on Spotify. So if you search Pocket Rochelle, you can find 3 songs. And every time you listen to it, I can make like 0.00001 cent. So if all of you go home today and you just listen on repeat, I'm gonna like buy a coffee. Yeah. So I thought it would be fitting if Pocket Rochelle isn't here, but I'm going to play you a cover of a Pocket Rochelle song. Yeah? So, to be honest with you, this band takes up like 5% of the book. So it's a little ridiculous that I've done this, but, and maybe this is a spoiler. So Jay, yep. Rochelle's gonna come back in book 2. So fall in love with her now, and then, yeah, you'll be ready. So I've got my husband, maybe he's left, he's run away, and my son, they're going to help me, and yeah, we're gonna try and get through this. We'll see what happens. What do I need to tell you about this song? So I envision this song is actually called The Path That Takes Us Home. That is the name of this series. And I've actually worked the book title of each book into a verse. So you will hear When the Trees All Burned. You will hear, what's the next one?
All the line?
No. Where the Ashes Find Their Grave. That's book 2. And book 3 will be How We Taught the Earth to Breathe. So we're going to do The Path That Takes Us Home. Now, in the bridge, there's a part where I ask, who did this? And I want all of you to follow my husband Scott and respond, we did. Okay? Because there is a underlying message of how we need to be good stewards of the earth, and we are doing a bad job of it. So, who has made a mess of it? We have. So, let's try. Looked for you, love, near the wishing well. Couldn't find love when it all fell. I put my faith in you return. There was nothing left when the trees all burned. Yeah. This is not the path that takes us home. This is not the scar that ends the fight. This is not the final victory march. It's how we I'll leave my footsteps here in this ruin here, to be discovered by a bold pioneer. Told us all to be his folly with ashes find their way. Beauty in the face of fear, beast, not an atmosphere, dancing when if you want like a good polished version of that, go to Spotify.
It's on Apple Music too. And,
Oh yeah, it's on all the, yes please. It's on all those streaming places. And in the back of your book, there's a download code where you can get it for free from my website if you just want the MP3s. Yeah. Which I don't know how that works if you download it to your phone. I don't, good luck. So, I just have a couple more things to say. I feel like I'm taking a lot of time, but this is my day. I recognize that the kind of stuff I write is not for everyone. And my mother has been warned that she probably shouldn't read this book. But what I'm gonna do for my mom is I'm just gonna take up the parts that I don't want her to read. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna make it mom friendly. Page 131. 133. 178. There's a few more. You can email me if you want a list of what to skip. But if you're brave and yep, that gone. I dare you not skip any parts. But if you need to, that's okay. I won't hold it against you. I think that's better. I have one more thing that I want us to do. And this is so self-indulgent, but it will bring me great joy. So if you can take one and pass this down. So there is a sophisticated algorithm that is going to determine who the 200 most deserving people are to get into this dome that this billionaire is building in Thunder Bay. And people can agree to be considered by the algorithm, and when they do so, this rich guy is going to send them a little Kool-Aid package in the mail. And in that Kool-Aid, there's a tiny little robot called the Archive. And this little bug robot is going to burrow into your stomach when you drink your Kool-Aid. And it's going to send a transmission signal to the masterminds of the dome so that they know if you're worthy of the algorithm. So what I would love for us to do is to take the Kool-Aid together. And there is probably not a robot in it. And parents, it is Kool-Aid.
Where's yours?
I'll take it with me. I'll take it with me. I'm going to get my phone though because I want a picture of you all over it. Oh, see what I should have done? I should have had 2 baskets. Or I should have given it to you when you came in. Because now we're just waiting. But when you submit your name for the algorithm, you do have to wait. It has to come in the mail. and then you have to mix it yourself. So I've saved you that. So I guess you're welcome. While we're waiting, I'll let you know that if you want to deep dive on some of the stuff within the book, if you go to alanarusnak.ca, click the banner at the top, that will take you to a page that's all about my book, and then links upon links of all my overachieving mess. Like, I've started to build a fake wiki for my book, so you can get lots of extra information about what is this dome all about and what is the archive robot that is inside, not in this fluid. Or is it? Okay, first I want everyone to hold up their Kool-Aid so I can take pictures. You guys are great, you're just indulging me. Thank you. Okay, so the lid should come off, like, it should just kind of pop off. So what we're gonna toast to Eden, which you'll understand when you read the book. Are we ready? Everyone good? To Eden. Woo! All right, I'm pretty sure that's all that I had to say. So, I will go back to the book table, so if anyone would like to purchase a book, they're $20. I do have my past series available there. So there's 3 books in that series. You can today get all 3 for $30 for the package if you've never experienced an Alana Rusnak fiction. But really, we're here to celebrate the new book, so please get that one. And if you felt compelled to help me more, then after you read it, if you left a review, wherever books are reviewed, that's super, super helpful and so hard to get reviews, to get people to do that. So if that's one extra step that you can do for free, and I would be so grateful, even if you don't like the book. I'm serious. Because it's really true that all attention is good attention, because it still brings people to my title, and it might find the person that would like it. So you're only going to hurt my feelings a little bit. It's fine. I think that's all. If you do want to be part of the First Friday Stories that Kim was talking about, that happens through Chicken House Press. So you can sign up for the newsletter at chickenhousepress.ca. I don't know, is there anything else?
Right in the library next month.
Right in the library next month on May 5th.
Saturday.
The first Saturday of May, we're having the women's panel. I think Tiffany is going to be there. This is Tiffany. She's a local author, very prolific. She's so mad at me right now. So we're going to get her talking though. So on May 5th at the library at what time?
It's May 3rd at
May 3rd, first Saturday, 12:30. And then right after that, beginning at 2, we do our Write in the Library, where we just hang out around tables for 3 hours, and usually we just chat, but sometimes writing happens. And then May 24th, I'm here for a 12-hour intensive. If you want to be part of that, that's on the Chicken House Press website. That's enough information, right? That's enough. Okay. Oh, I know. Okay, this is my copy. I would love you all to sign it. I don't care where you sign it, find a page, whatever. This will be my keepsake of today. And so please don't leave without doing that. Is there a spot I can find it to do that?
I will make that happen.
Okay, by the door to make sure we catch everyone.
Yes, I actually have a little table to set that up.
Please Please do that. Okay, thank you so much for coming here. Your support means so much.
I love standing around papers and books, they're wonderful. And I love that the Durham Art Gallery is going to make the news because of Kool-Aid. Worked so hard and in the end it's negative press. Thank you so much for being here. It's always so wonderful to have fresh faces in the gallery. I realized I didn't introduce myself. I'm Jennifer, I'm the director of the gallery. Please come back and see what we have going on here as well. Thank you so much, Delena, for such an entertaining afternoon. How wonderful. And I want to say a special thanks to the Pocket Rochelle cover band as well. Nice and lovely surprise. So I just wanted to thank a few people and get a few little nudges in. Thank you so much, Kim. What a beautiful introduction. That was so lovely. Thank you for that. I could never have done it. Quick thank you to Anne Jaban for helping do everything today, make it happen. And Amelia's not here today, but she did all the setup for today, so shout out to Amelia. I wanted to take, while you're here, if you can take a minute and check out the exhibition. We have over 40 artists. This is a juried exhibition titled Margins and Peripheries. So some really wonderful artwork. Some of the artists are even in the room. Take a few minutes and check out the art. And on your way out, you can also grab a ballot and you can vote for your favorite. The show ends on Sunday, and we'll be counting the ballots and we'll be announcing the People's Choice Awards, so you can cast your vote for that. I think that's all for now. Wonderful to see you here. Thank you for an entertainment, all the laughs and the joy and the books and the words and all the fun. And enjoy the rest of your afternoon here at the gallery. Check out the artwork. Thanks, everyone.
Solidarity.
I got something to say.